The first week, I think I only made $204 or something. So nothing crazy. I can see that there's power in the number of videos. So I'll just keep going. And then the next week, I hit about 7,000. And then the second week, I hit another 7,000. And so 1 month to the day that you gave me my plan, I was like, okay, I just tipped over that 15,000 scale right there. It just keeps going. And
What's going on, guys? We have a super special guest today, Shivani, who is one of our Academy students. I'm super excited to have you on today. I want to actually kick this off with a post that you wrote in our Academy. I read it the other day and I literally got some goosebumps. I'm going to read just the beginning of it. The title was Not Sure If I'm Dreaming. Exactly 1 month ago, Mike shared my growth plan with me, and in it, he said, realistically, I think you're 1 or 2 months away from having $15,000 months if you really focus on TikTok Shop. I watched it, jaw dropped. Then I rewinded, I watched it again, woke up the next day, and decided I had nothing to lose. I want you to take it from there, right? So you told us, hey, I want to hit $15,000 months. This is my goal. I gave you a little plan. I want to hear now, like, what happened after this?
yeah. So I think I woke up the next day. Everyone was talking about TikTok shop. So I was like, I'm just going to go for it. I have nothing to lose. Let me pick up my phone. And at the time, I don't think I had any samples. And so I was like, let me just start using things around my house. The first week, I think I only made $204 or something. So nothing crazy. But I was like, I can see what he's talking about. I can see that there's power in the number of videos. So I'll just keep going. And then the next week, I hit about 7,000. And then the second week, I hit another 7,000. And so 1 month to the day that you gave me my plan, I was like, okay, I just tipped over that 15,000 scale right there. It just keeps going. And I always joke, I don't even know how to feel. It doesn't feel real at all. So I definitely want to thank you for believing in me and kind of pushing me in that direction. And then a lot of people just in the academy too have been like, hey, like, how are you feeling? And I think I commented on one of them and I said, screaming, crying, throwing up. Like that's pretty much how I can describe it. So it's crazy.
That's awesome. So you're still in that like almost like disbelief, like I don't even know how to feel type of stage, which is like everybody goes through that. Hopefully it'll
Yeah.
settle in for you a little bit. You mentioned like okay, now it's like it was almost like a shift in belief, right? It's not like your content like there was anything crazy. Like I know you're using like some little tips here and there that you're picking up, but I feel like the big shift for you was in terms of like believing in yourself and like I don't know, it was almost like you needed me or someone to just say like, "Hey, like you're good. Like believe in yourself." And then I don't know, it clicked. Like can you talk about like what that shift was for you?
Yeah, I think for a long time, I've always created content for, I think, upwards of 8 or 9 years. I've loved creating it in all different forms. And I think in the back of my head, I've always thought, oh, it would be really fun to do this for a living. But then I always kind of was like, oh, I've seen other people make it their full time job, but I don't really know if it's possible. And then just from all the value that you've provided in the really short time that I've been in the academy, just kind of hearing you say, hey, well, if you're thinking you want to hit 15K, like I think you could realistically get there in a month or two. And you kind of read my post. I was like, oh my gosh, a month or two. And I was like, no way, that would be cool, but no way. And it just kind of sat in my head and I thought about it every morning when I woke up. And I was like, okay, well, let's just give it a try. And it wasn't like I had something really bad going on that I was like, I just need to do it. It was like, I just needed to hear it, I guess, that you thought a month or two, it was a month or two out. And I was like, that's not that long. So the fact that it happened in just a couple of weeks is just crazy to me.
I feel like so many people that watch these or like people that I talk to or reach out, they almost feel like, no way, like I couldn't do that. Like they hear some of these numbers and it's like, so and so made $30,000 in her second month on TikTok shop. And they're like, that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's not true. That can't be me. And like so many people have that, but I'm trying to like break that barrier for a lot of people where it's like, this is so possible for anyone out there. And like the number one factor is just like you believing that you can get there because if you don't believe that you can get there, then you stop week one, like you just told us. Like week one, I made $200, and it was like, oh, whatever. And if you don't believe that you can get to those numbers, then like it's probably where you stop or you slow down. If you're looking for high converting products to work with on TikTok Shop, then you need to check out the Brands Meet Creators TikTok Shop games. We just partnered up with a handful of brands that are going to be offering bonus commission exclusively through our network. All of these brands have highly converting products. They have budget to boost your videos with ads, and they have a ton of viral potential. We're also going to be giving away a ton of prizes, including free tickets to our in-person mastermind event this year. And the best part about it, the Brands Meet Creators TikTok Shop games are completely free. You can join by clicking the link somewhere below this video.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one of the first things that you said when you explained my plan to me was you said, "Hey, I just want to challenge this mindset that you're having." And I think that was so powerful. Number one, because it was so graceful. Number two, because all of a sudden I like just something sparked in my mind and I was like, okay, I've got this. And so I think the other part of it that I will add is that as creators, a lot of times we're kind of hardwired to make content that looks really aesthetic and looks very perfectly edited. And I come from a wedding background, so aesthetics are always very important to me. I'm a very type A type of person, but when you look at my shop account, it's like the complete opposite. I'm just around my house in a sweatshirt, cooking, just sitting on the couch. It's a lot of that. And so it's kind of the opposite of everything that I knew. And so for me, when you talked about there's so much power in the number of videos and quality, I kind of started thinking about, okay, how do I make this fit into my life rather than saying, okay, I'm going to set aside 3 hours a day because that's not realistic for me right now with my full time job as well. And so it's just about really kind of pivoting to how is this going to fit into my life. So it's way easier to be cooking dinner, pick up my phone and talk about this sauce rather than be like, okay, let me get the lighting and the tripod and everything. So it's been interesting. I don't use my tripod that often.
This is good. I want to get into this, right? So now we're getting into a little bit more of like the tactical, right? Actually, like the types of videos that we're filming, how many videos we're doing. We just talked about like the mindset portion, which is like crazy important. But now let's get into the actual, how you're doing this. And so I do see a lot of people who come from the UGC space. They want to make these videos that take like 2 hours, 3 hours to make, and you're on like CapCut desktop and adding in all the cuts and everything. But like that is not the game on TikTok Shop. The game on TikTok Shop is, can I take a proven framework with a proven product that's already working, and can I make a video in 7 minutes and do like four of those a day? I want to get into kind of like what your strategy is right now. Like, how many videos are you doing? I see you're doing a lot of just the right here, record,
Yeah.
just talk to the camera for a little bit. Can you talk about the types of videos you're making,
Sure.
maybe how many, what that strategy is looking like?
Yeah. So I will say I do find that when I put one video out there, it kind of takes a little bit for it to get pushed through the algorithm. So it might hit 200, 300 views within the first 15 minutes. And then probably like 4 to 6 hours later, it starts gaining traction. So I don't know if this is necessarily a strategy or not, but I try to do at least one before noon. I'll do another one kind of in the afternoon and then one sometime in the evening, honestly, kind of whenever I find the time, like I said. So I try to do about 2 to 3 videos, 4 to 5 times a week. Doing that, I've been able to hit like around at least 1,000 or if not more a day. So I feel like that's been a good cadence for me. And I don't feel like super stressed out about it. And it's kind of fun and, it doesn't take that much time.
And for everyone listening, remember, she's doing this with a full-time job too. You could do this with not that much time on your hands. You just got to, find some time here and there, study what's working really well. I want to get into a couple of the videos in particular. The first one I want to get into are some of these hooks that you're using. One of them, I know I posted this in our academy that like really stuck on. I've seen a bunch of creators that are crushing it with it, but going with the angle of like, oh, either like TikTok messed up or like TikTok's going to shut down. So you have like a couple videos like that. You want to talk about those at all?
100% sure, but I think TikTok might have messed up. 50% off sale on these X15s was supposed to end a few hours ago. They go on like this over your ear if you haven't seen them. It's supposed to be back up to $50 today, but with the time change, I think they might have accidentally left their sale running. I don't know when they're going to notice, but if you're looking for a new pair of earphones, like go grab these because that is a crazy deal.
Sure, yeah. So one of my most viral videos were for the Lenovo's. I still have them here. I'm loyal. And so the hook is basically saying, "Hey, I think TikTok glitched, and they might have forgotten to change their price, and it was around daylight savings time too. So it was the perfect time to be like, oh, this glitches because of the sale." The other funny part of it is my brother and he does this thing where if I text him something that's kind of out of the norm for me, he'll be like, "Are you glitching?" And so that's kind of like where I kind of put it all together. And I was like, oh, I think that'd be really funny. So that format works. And then I know you also post about the viral hook as well. So what I've been finding is when I find that hook that works, I just start to essentially like recreate that with a little bit different variations of that same hook, and it just keeps working. And I've been finding that so many people are just coming from my For You page and they're not looking through every single video on my profile. And so it's actually been a strategy that's been working really well.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You find something that works and you got to milk it for all it's worth, right? Just
Yeah.
like keep on running that same play until it doesn't work, because your job out there is really just like finding like, okay, what does work? And when you find it, it's like, I'm going to keep hitting this one until it doesn't work. And then, okay, then we're going to find
Yeah.
something new. And like, that's not only for the hook too, that's like also for the product, right? So I see you're selling the Lenovo headphones a lot, which I think they're like the number 4 selling product on TikTok Shop right now. Also, just a PS for anyone watching this, that brand, hopefully they're going to be in our TikTok Shop games. We're talking to them right now. So we're negotiating like some bonus commission for everyone. That's completely free to join. We'll get you on that bonus commission too, because I know that'll add up a lot for you. But it's not just the hook, it's the product as well. So can you talk about like the different types of products that you've been testing out? Another question that we get is like, do I need to stick to a niche? Like how can I choose what product? How do you think about all of that?
Yeah. So I think one of the tools you recommended early on was Calidata, the platform where you can kind of see the behind the scenes of what's selling really well on TikTok. So I personally don't think you need to have a niche. If you want to, I know we talked about how in the past I've kind of been in that gift recommendation niche. So if you want to, you can, but I also think you don't have to. It seems like the strategy is more based on like the type of product. So is this product unique? But the other part also I will say is it something that is in a good price point and is it in stock? So when I talk about price point, I mean, is it something that someone might impulse buy? I have a lot of stories. I spent a live walking on a treadmill for an hour and a half trying to sell the treadmill and had zero sales because that treadmill was like $130 versus I was on a live for the Lenovo's and had like 10 to 15 sales in an hour. So price point matters. And then of course, if they are in stock as well. So to answer your question about niche, I don't really think so. You can really pick whatever you would like. I think the product matters. It's really hard to, for example, sell like an iPhone charging cable versus, a product that has a lot of cool features. And then when you're creating the videos or you're replying to people's questions, what I like to do is if I'm creating videos, I try to create videos from like all different angles. You can use ChatGPT for this as well. Take it from the emotional angle, take it from the product features angle, kind of start looking through all the questions that people are commenting on the viral video or something that sparks controversy. And that will also kind of help that video get pushed out to a bunch of people.
All right, so a couple of things I heard in there. One was price point. You want something that's like an impulse buy, and I completely agree. Just like not saying that high ticket or higher ticket items don't work, but just like in general, we see it's the same thing. Something that someone can see once or twice. They're like, okay, I get it. It's 25 bucks, whatever. I'm gonna just take a risk and I'm gonna buy it. That's something that we see work really well. The inventory is huge too. One other thing too that I'll mention is like commission rate. That's pretty important too, because if you're promoting something that's got 5% commission rate, it's going to take a lot longer than something that's got 20 or 40 or 35, whatever it is. So that's something that we're working on too with our TikTok shop games. Like I'm starting to compare us to almost like Costco, where we can go and like negotiate in bulk with these brands because we
Yeah,
have like so many content creators that are willing to promote these products. So we're able to kind of get a better commission and give it to our creators. So definitely look at the commission too. And then
definitely.
you mentioned the replying to comment strategy as well. I want to dive into that. How has that gone for you? How do you kind of choose like what comments to reply to? Do you have any like strategy in particular with those?
Yeah, so all the ones that usually when people are asking direct questions about, oh, is it waterproof or, oh, how many hours of playtime, things like that. I think something that you always have two options, right? When you reply to a comment sticker, you can either reply, hold up your phone to your face and just say, hey, it plays for 6 hours, or yes, it's waterproof or whatever. But then I think you can also get really creative with it and be like, oh, it's waterproof. Like, let me go stick it in a glass of water. Oh, people on my live have been saying that they shower with it. And like, I have all these comments on my videos being like, who's showering with their headphones in? And so that whole aspect of like show everyone rather than just tell them, things just become a lot more interesting. And then it also helps if you have, something crazy going on in the background or something else that they can kind of pick at, also helps.
That's such an amazing tip right there. So, like, for everyone listening, these reply to comment videos, it's kind of like a retargeting ad, right? Where someone might have seen the viral one, and then everyone who viewed that, they're now way more likely to see the reply to comments, right? So they've seen they've seen the product before. Now they're seeing, maybe the video that's a little bit more detailed, kind of like selling the product, showing more of the features. Like, yes, it is waterproof. Oh, I take these on my run. I take them on my shower. But an incredible point is like, don't just answer the question, because then you're going to get way fewer views because it's not that interesting, right? If you can like answer the question in like a super engaging and also like visual way, like I love what you talked about where it's like, don't just tell them it's waterproof, show them that it's waterproof. So now it's like you're getting this kind of retargeting video that's showing all the features, but it still has like standalone value by itself because it's still interesting because you're dipping headphones in water, right? And you're going to get way more views that way.
Yeah, definitely. I will say one strategy I've had with that is the second that you start to see that a video is starting to go viral, start posting those reply videos to those comments right away, because I find that the second it starts jumping, everyone's always running to the comments. And that's how you kind of get people to then click on all of those videos that are replying. So I have been doing that more and seeing traction there too.
Super smart. That's one that I actually haven't thought about, but this is such an amazing tip. I want to like restate that for everyone listening. So like your video starts to go viral. Think of it from a user standpoint, right? What do? You go look in the comments, right? If you have some of those videos in there, now you're just going to create this cycle where like now they're just consuming a bunch of these videos, probably way more likely to purchase. That's such a smart tip. So last couple months you've been posting videos. I think you've posted like what, 70, maybe 100
Something
TikTok
like
shop
that.
videos.
Yeah.
Anything else that stands out as like, oh, you know what? I didn't know this before really diving into it, but now that I've posted 100 videos, here are a couple big tips that pop out.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is when you have a video that is going viral, start messaging those brands and say, hey, I love that this video is going viral. Like, do you want to boost it? So be the person that's proactive about boosting it. I started that, and all like 6 of my brands in a week that I reached out to overnight, they all just instantly said yes. So, I mean, that took like 5 minutes of my time, and that only kind of helps further with sales. So I thought that was great. I will say I have experienced, I've had some experience with doing like lives as well. For me, I feel like when we're thinking about how to do, I guess, do TikTok shop more passively, I think the videos are the fastest way to go. But I guess kind of like I'll share a little live hack that I've tried a few times that has worked is I would type in all the features into ChatGPT, and then I would say, hey, give me like a 10 to 15-minute sales script. And then if there are a couple days where I don't feel like being on camera, I just have my tripod and it's just my hands with the Lenovo, and I'll be like reading off of the script. But like, let's say if the script says, yeah, they say that it's great for using in noisy environments, then I'll also throw in like a personal story about, yeah, I was on the phone with my mom at Costco on a Saturday. Like, you guys all know how this is, and she had no issues hearing me. And then I go back to the Chat GPT script. So it was a great way to blend things. And it's just like, if you happen to have some time and you just want to kind of, try it out, I think that's a great, like, low risk way to try going live.
Really, really good tips. Something else that I remember too, as I was like going through your account, um, that's like a little bit different than what I see other people is like, it just looks like you're having so much fun doing it
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like you're always like throwing in like little jokes, like you're kind of being
Yeah.
yourself. You're like, you're not taking it too seriously. And I think that right there is one of the reasons probably why you're performing so well, right? Because a lot of people like, I don't know, I feel like they get like not like serious about it, but it's like they're just like, oh, I gotta sell this thing. Like I really gotta sell this. Whereas you're like, yeah, you're just like more lighthearted. You're kind of throwing in some jokes in there, and I feel like just like that energy really comes through, and I feel like that helps with the virality and helps with the ability to actually sell something.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I force myself to voice my like weird inner monologue that we all have of like the random little things that you might not always say out loud, but you might be thinking them. So I've definitely put that in there. And then thinking about, I guess, tips, another thing that I've been like practicing is just talking faster when I'm doing these videos, because I've watched other people use the app and I see people who watch longer videos in 2x. And so I was like, people want things to be faster paced and high energy. And so I'm never really usually doing a ton of editing with my videos. The only time I will kind of do a redo is if I feel like I was talking at a normal pace, and I'll be like, I can do that a little faster and kind of do the voiceover faster or talk faster.
Yeah, that's something that I definitely struggle with. I am like a slow talker on camera and I know that, but that's something that's great to pay attention to. Like super fast paced stuff does really well. A lot of people do listen to the long videos on 2x speed. I am one of those people. I listen to everything on 2x, YouTube
Yep.
video, podcast. If the TikTok's over a minute and a half long, I'm putting it on 2x.
Yep.
So I 100% can relate to that. In terms of, I want you to put yourself again back in those shoes, a month, 2 months ago, just getting started with TikTok, or it's been a week, you haven't made much. For someone who's watching and they're in that same position, do you have any like final words of wisdom for them? Any advice?
So I would say, I guess, two things. Number one, you have nothing to lose. So literally just go and walk around your house, find products, see if they are available in the marketplace. They can literally be anything from like a hot sauce to a dish soap. I would say don't worry so much about the commission rate and things like that if you are just getting started and you just want to practice. And then I think the second thing is kind of what I said at the beginning. If you're serious about this, you want to make some real money on this, figure out how to do it in a way that fits into your life and not the other way around. Because I think having now kind of gone through this last month, you have so much more fun with it that way. I look forward to it. And it's so fun to be like, hey, I'm cooking and this is what I'm doing, and just make it so goofy and fun. And just like every time I post a video, I'm not really thinking like, okay, I hope this thing sells. It's just kind of like, let me just be myself and do it. And if you get no sales, whatever, then you just go on to the next one a couple hours later. So definitely just have fun with it.
Amazing advice. And I love seeing your videos and just like how much fun you are having with that process. So what's next for you? I know you kind of you sent out the screenshot of like $15,000 in the last 2 weeks. Are you just gonna kind of keep running that same playbook? Are you gonna start testing new products, any new strategies that are coming along? What do you kind of see on the future roadmap here?
Yeah. So I will say, so now since I've been a part of the academy here for 3 months, April will be my fourth month. I feel like I still have so much to learn, and I'm like so thirsty to learn right now. And so, kind of spending as much time as I can learning. But honestly, the best part of it has been just all the people that I've been making connections with. I will just say it; they've been so genuine. I have like WhatsApp groups with people. Next month, I'm actually meeting a couple people in person, and I just want to keep like nurturing those friendships because it's just really been amazing for me to go through this, have people ahead of me, have people who I'm able to share things with and compare. And so even just the fact that we meet twice a week has been like so great. Like I look forward to it. So that's probably what I'm focusing on. As far as new products, I'm sure I will start to bring in new products. For sure, my island is filled with samples right now, but yeah, I'm going to keep testing. I'm going to keep learning. But yeah, like I said, I feel like I just have a lot more to get through in the academy overall. And so that and kind of investing in my new friendships.
I love that. That's so cool to hear that you guys are doing little academy in-person meetups on the side. Super
Yeah.
cool stuff. For anyone listening, whether it's a creator or maybe a brand that they want to reach out and work to you, where should we send everyone? Where should they go follow you?
Sure. So if you want to check out my TikTok shop account, it's at SHIVKO427. And then my personal TikTok is live like Shiv with three V's at the end. I'm going to start sharing some of my tips on how I got into this there soon.
Love that. Love that. And we will leave all of that linked up down below. Thank you so much for doing this. This was an incredible interview. I'm sure everybody watching loved it as well. And for all the viewers, appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys on the next video.